gentlemen of the media, thank you for coming, especially on such short notice. Unfortunately, we have an announcement to make. It's not the type we like to be making, but we do think it is ultimately in the best for the future of the state. I will now let head of the legislature, Endeavor Jackson, share the announcement.
We can announce today William Benning was detained by law enforcement after 2 warrants were issued for his arrest. Now that criminal trials have been filed, we'll begin the impeachment process. This is an obviously delicate matter. We'll be working with branches of government in order to battle corruption. The state of San Andreas will always stand against officials who will not work in the best interest of the people. And Mr. Wenning now faces serious charges. We cannot provide further comment due to the upcoming trials and investigation, but we will keep the people of the state in the loop of these matters, and will not share more details in the upcoming questions the next couple of days. House Secretary Bex Lawson will answer any questions. Bex, let's stand up here.
Absolutely. I figure this is a real small audience. We can just do a round robin. People can just ask as the questions come to mind. Absolutely, Captain. What's up?
Yes, Captain Ken Hover, Harwick Ave, Pink Cage Motel. These allegations concerning Mr. Benning's untimely departure from his seat, as a constituent, I have to inquire, how did this search warrant come about?
Well, we can't speak about the issues that prompted the initial warrant or any of the details behind the charges. We can confirm these charges were quite serious. We can confirm they have been looked at by not only our legal system but also the criminal system, and we are very confident in our case as it moves forward. Once the trial is out, we will be able to share more information on the circumstances between each step of this process. Unfortunately, we have to make sure we're working with our partners in law enforcement to not impede the trial. So you'll understand I cannot provide a further comment.
Received a follow-up question on that. Was this warrant obtained by a judge, singular, or a grand jury through indictment?
That's correct.
Was
it through a judge? But I can assure you that the further up action, for instance, for impeachment, that will require a supermajority vote. And, we will obviously be making sure to provide the proper rigor against these charges and give Mr. Benning a chance to defend himself, before any official consequences go through as a result of the trials.
Thank you.
Got a question here. There was a raid on his house a couple of weeks ago, which he commented about he didn't know too much about. Is it safe to assume these are related situations, or is that a completely separate issue?
I cannot comment on the specifics, but I can assure you that there is a pattern of behavior that major crimes and the legislative branch are aware of, and we can say that this is unfortunately not a one-off incident that brings such a dramatic step to fruition. So while we cannot speak about the specifics about the warrant or what crimes the warrant is connected to or whatever, we would unfortunately be compromising the major crimes investigation, and as such, we're going to have to remain tight-lipped on that.
Okay, thank you.
Of course.
What do the coming days look like for the legislature? Does the impeachment start now, or does that begin once he's been convicted in a more court of law?
Great question. We have talked about this. We are aware that the legislature has unfortunately not been as productive as we would have liked on account of, all of this. So what you are about to see is the legislature moving forward as a united front. That includes passing bills that are on the floor, like HR 44, to ensure that we are making positive steps for our citizens, even in the face of this. The criminal trial and the impeachment will run parallel to one another. At this point, we are not waiting for conviction before we impeach, and this will also allow us to, continue to cooperate with our partners in the judicial branch and the legal system. For instance, we can subpoena one piece for both instead of having to go back and forth and doing that sort of trade, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Bex, if I may add something?
Absolutely, please do.
All right. So the way the impeachment process works for a state rep is we file articles of impeachment, and then that later leads to an impeachment hearing in which we will hear his side of the story, we'll take that into account, and then us as a quorum will decide if we would in fact like to impeach William Benning officially or not. So as we are filing articles of impeachment, he is not in fact impeached yet, but he is, technically on leave at this point once we do file it officially. But there will be a hearing.
I have a question now. Doesn't the impeachment process also require a 9/10 vote of the constituents?
No, sir.
So this is not a this is less than traditional. I'm just a little confused. I'm used to the political arena, but this is a little different.
So our
I understand.
Constitution is written that we would need a 4 out of 4 vote to actually impeach a fellow state rep, and so all of us would have to decide at the hearing if we would like to, finalize the impeachment or not.
So the impeachment, the articles of impeachment, were not brought forth by a constituency, but by the reps, or would be by the reps
That is
themselves.
correct. So what I can say is this is something that we were discussing internally as well as discussing with other branches of government. We're aware of what a drastic step this is, and we're aware that the public, no doubt wants to understand what's happening as it's in effect. But due to, of course, the nature of, for instance, you don't want to put a warrant out for his arrest and have him flee, and you also want to make sure that we can execute the arrest properly, especially with some of the charges being violent in nature. So unfortunately, this is something we did internally as state reps. This is something that the Constitution allows us to do. And we would have spoken sooner if it was, possible, but with the delicate nature of this, the multiple government agencies involved, and the nature of the alleged crimes, it was very important for us to cross our T's and dot our I's.
Could you explain how Mr. Benning was arrested? Was that done at his home, in the public, here?
I can confirm it was done in a public location. I will wait to confirm any further details until such a time as I'm aware what is good to share with our partners in, the legal law enforcement and the judicial branch.
That'll be it from all of us, folks. Thank you for coming down.
Thank
We
you.
will be updating you in the next couple of days.
And again, if you have any questions, if you have any concerns, if there's something you realize you wanted to ask tonight that you forgot, if I'm on duty in the government app, please call me. You can also email me on the government website. I'm very active, so you will get an answer as soon as possible. And if you do not get an answer or no comment, it is because, unfortunately, just the delicate nature, there are a lot of gears moving in this right now. But I will do my best to keep in touch with the press and ensure that we have fewer last-minute surprises like this for you.
Thank you guys for coming out.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Absolutely.